Welcome back to the channel. My name is Raymond Cooper. Let's get to it. So what I wanted to actually start doing with the channel, I was trying to get a couple names, couple of figures, and try to figure out how I should go with this, what names I should pop up with, what things I should go, yada yada yada. So what I came to the conclusion was I would like to do a segment on the channel which will be called, as of right now, it will be called Feast and Film. Feast and Film will basically be me reviewing movies, TV shows, things like that, and then at the same time, at the end or in the middle, we'll figure out when I think that would be best. We will also be reviewing a food. That could be a sweet, savory, alcohol, it could be anything. So that's how that will begin. And so yes, this will be called the Feast and Film segment. Now what I would like to start this off with is the Titans. So Titans is a live action adaptation of the Teen Titans that has originally was aired on the DC Universe streaming app, but it was taken off when HBO Max starts. So if you look anything regarding Titans now, it will be called a Max original. So the show is now aired on HBO Max. So if you do have a membership to HBO Max, you're able to watch the show. Now I looked up online today and I saw that there was a major death in the series already. Now I was wondering who that was or who that was going to be. Didn't look at it, so I just wanted to watch. Upon looking on the app, it showed that they dropped 3 episodes. The first episode, and if you know anything about the Titan series, you understand that every episode is named after a character. Episode 1, and the reason I'm saying these now so I don't have to say them again. Episode 1 is called Barbara Gordon. Episode 2 is called Red Hood, and episode 3 is called Hawk and Dove. Now these are going to, this one particular is going to be a little bit long because I am going to just do all 3 episodes in this one, and in the future then I'll just do each episode weekly when they come out. This is a weekly show, so they will be coming out weekly, so I will be going further after that, but just for this one I am going to go ahead and do all 3 episodes. So on the first episode that we get from the Barbara Gordon episode, the episode starts off with simply Jason has went back to Gotham and he's taking orders from Bruce. Bruce looks like he is on a trip somewhere on a plane, and it looks like Jason has found Joker. Also as well, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this because I am doing a review of the episode as well as I'm discussing the episode in totality. So spoilers, I'll put it in the description as well, but there will be spoilers if you do watch this. So what we end up happening is Bruce tells Jason, "Hey, nah, don't worry about that. When I come back tomorrow, we'll handle it tomorrow." Jason says, "Nah, I got this, man. But he tells him, Bruce says, "Nah, hold off." So he goes, "All right, I do what you say. You the big boss, man. I got it. Let's move on." So we move on. Jason obviously doesn't do this, and what I'm going to bark to and rewind back to a couple times in this is the Under the Red Hood film, animated film, as well as the comics, because a lot of the segments that's going on and a lot of the themes and material that they're using is coming from this, and I'll get to that when parts come up. So he kind of ignores Bruce's order to do that. He takes some type of drug and like in an asthma, you have asthma, the little dispenser. He takes that. We haven't, and once again, I have all my notes here. So we haven't figured out what the chemical is or what he's taking. So it shifts over to that, and then he takes it. He's gonna go get Joker by his own. once again, if you're aware of anything about the comics, you know what's about to happen next. He gets ambushed by Joker. They don't show Joker's face, they just show his body, and he gets beat up by a crowbar. Very reminiscent of how it was in the comics and in the animated movie. If you haven't seen the animated movie, watch the animated movie. It's really, really good, and it'll give you a in-depth on really what's going on with this season so far. So if you haven't seen the movie, please watch the movie. So what we do is we swing over to showing what the team is doing now. So we see Nightwing fighting. We see Garth doing Garth things. Garth is Beast Boy. So during this, you will hear me call him Garth because that is his name. So if you hear me call Beast Boy Garth, that's the only reason why. So Garth doing his thing. Connor comes in. Boom. Starfire comes in. Just a general introduction to what the Titans are doing. It looks like what they're in San Francisco. They're very public. They're on the news now, helping people. Boom. So at the same time, Starfire ends up getting a call from the dude that she saw in Vegas. They have a conversation. He's trying to rekindle things with them, and they keep it moving. Now at this time, we get a small cameo, probably 2 or 3 scenes of Tim Drake. If you do in your research, you are aware that they did announce that Tim Drake will be showing up in here. You get a small dose of Tim Drake after Nightwing gets a call. Now this interpretation of Tim Drake, as we see right now, is semi comic book accurate. He's very fascinated with Batman. He believes that Batman is a hero. He's not a psychotic. And he knows a little bit about Batman and how things are going. Now in the comics, Tim actually figures out Bruce's and Dick's secret identity. He finds out that they're both Batman and Batman and Nightwing at this time. So he is aware of things. I'm not really showing his intelligence, his detective skill at the moment, but anybody who knows anything knows that Tim Drake is probably the best detective out of all Robin's Batman. It's stated, Batman, Bruce Wayne himself saying that the best detective out of all of them is Tim Drake. He's probably one of the smartest ones in them. And then you just show that Tim's working at a Chinese shop. So, spoiler alert. First spoiler alert is they've come to find out Jason got killed by Joker, and Joker was sent to Arkham. Now at this time, we fast forward. Dick shows up to Bruce Manor's. After hearing the news about Jason, we see Dick going into his old room, reminiscing about things that went down. We also see Jason cleaning. My apologies. We also see Bruce cleaning Jason's suit, saying that it's hard to get the blood out. And then at this time, I thought that these were the deaths that they were speaking about. But it's also mentioned at this time that Alfred is dead. Didn't know if that was ever mentioned in any previous previous seasons, but I think it hasn't because they harp on it a couple times about Alfred being dead at this time. So if you didn't know already, we are dealing with a Bruce Wayne at the end of his reign of Batman compared to maybe a Bruce Wayne in his peak. So we're talking about maybe a Bruce Wayne that's in his 50s, mid to late 50s. If you have seen Batman Beyond, that gives you a little bit of just probably not that old, but getting to that age. I believe what they're taking root to and the source material right now, I would say would be the Dark Knight, and I think it's the Dark Knight Returns. So this is after the fact when Bruce is a lot older, he leaves and he comes back, but we get into why I think that is. Now, as I remain, Bruce goes on like nothing happened, like, okay, yeah, somebody died, come on. Gotham still needs Batman, and then, in my notes, I simply just said Batman being Batman. Then what we have is, now at this time, Dick was the only one who went to Gotham. The rest of the Titans are still in San Francisco. Starfire has a touching speech. I do apologize. Starfire has a touching speech about how it was Jason's fault that he died because he never learned from his mistakes. He never wanted to learn from them and build and be a better person. He basically tells everybody to learn, build, keep being a better person, keep learning to be a better person. Don't be stuck in your ways. Learn to be a better person. I thought that was a real nice scene. We swing over to Garth watching some animal videos, and he's Mrs. Raven. Raven hasn't showed up yet. Spoiler: she's not showing up in none of these episodes. So I'll just put that out there now. Yeah, so she doesn't show up in any of these episodes, and he just like, okay, oh yeah, and he basically just talked about what she's doing right now. Like, oh yeah, you're trying to revive somebody dead. Once again, another spoiler. If you haven't seen season 2, Donna dies in season 2. And so, alright. So we meet Barbara Gordon. And in the series, I think they're going for her Oracle persona. The reason why I say that is because they have her working at the Gotham PD. We also find out that she, in the same scene, that she is commissioner. And we also find out that she's obviously she's in a wheelchair. The reason I say that we're using the Oracle persona is, and if you do your research, you can find out that in the comics, after the laughing joke comic where she ends up getting shot by Joker in the comic, she is no longer to use her legs, so she has to use a wheelchair. They don't say anything about how she ends in a wheelchair. I just assume that's where we're going with it because that's what happens. She's in a wheelchair, so we're getting her Oracle persona. Now, also at the same time, my apologies. Now, they mention as well that how Bruce was acting at Alfred's funeral, and how Bruce never brings up Jim Gordon, who was also dead at this point as well. That's something that I didn't want to wear. So at this, once again, we are talking about an older Bruce Wayne. Alfred is now dead. Jim Gordon is now dead. And then she also mentioned how she used to be Batgirl. And then once again, I'm assuming that the events after the Laughing Joke comic, she goes into doing the Oracle thing where she's basically just the computer person, and then but in this interpretation, she is simply just a commissioner. She goes the police route. Barbara Bruce, and so basically Dick asked Barbara to come over just to have a moment with Bruce about things. She does. They reminisce about how Jason was and how much he was an asshole, but he was still a good guy. Bruce tries to keep professional, how him and Jim had a better team or had a better partnership compared to how him and Barbara are, and kind of find out that Jim actually died by Mr. Freeze. He froze him and his heart just stopped, which I thought was cool. Now, also as well, during the time, they mentioned the chemical that's killing people that's possible what Jason is taking in the beginning. But at this time, Barbara gets mad at Bruce for blaming him for the death of Jason, and then Barbara just storms out. Here, there's a good point in the scene where Barbara tells Dick, "Hey, don't get involved in this. Go live your life in San Francisco. This is not your fault." Where Dick basically says, "No, this is all our fault. We should have helped Jason out more when we could." So, we go from there, and then what we see is Dick's in Jason's old room, and he finds his old hiding spot in there where he finds out the warehouse is called Harris Building B. We see a little bit of the foundation of where Jason was taking, a foundation of what Jason was taking at the beginning of the episode, but once again, it's never mentioned what that actually is. So we're still in the dark at this time in episode 1 of what's going on. Now, we transition over to Starfox, my apologies. We transition over to Starfire. She's having a drink, and then she has like a blackout moment. And the blackout moment is a scene where you're seeing somebody in a hazmat suit, but you don't know who it is. And maybe it's her, maybe it's somebody from her species. We're not truly at this time in the episode, we truly do not know what that is. At the end of the episode, Bruce admits to Dick that he was right, and the Joker and him need each other. That's why he never killed him. The episode ends with Bruce leaving and a bloody bat on the floor, basically giving indication that he killed somebody like the Joker. Now, with the first episode, I liked it. I thought that it was a good introduction to see what everybody was doing at that time. Once again, I'm a comic book nerd, so I knew about a lot of this stuff, a lot of the elements that they're using for this season. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go to episode 2. Interested in NFL injury updates? Maybe you want more details about when your favorite player is returning. Are you into gambling and would like better betting odds? Do you play fantasy football and want to get a one-up on your competitor? Look no further than the Return to Play podcast, a weekly podcast that gives you all this and more. Link will be in the description. Once again, this is the Return to Play podcast. And let's get back to the video. Thank you and welcome back to Feast and Film. What we're doing here is we're going to start and discuss the plot and a little bit of review of episode 2 of season 3 of Titans, as you can see on the screen. So episode 2 starts out with rival gang leaders actually showing up in an abandoned building. Once again, this right here gave me Under the Red Hood vibes. If you've never seen the movie, watch it. This is basically almost picture to picture of what they do here. So what they do here is a lot of the gang members are like, oh, did you call? No, did you call me? Who called me? So in the background you hear a voice that's going through a mask, and basically what it's Red Hood, obviously. It's like, hey, he throws the bag on the table. He goes, check the bag. He goes, man, who are you? Batman ain't even here no more. So at this time, we are told basically Batman has killed Joker and he's gone. He's not Batman anymore. Batman's gone. Red Hood's like, man, open up the bag. So, boom, they open up the bag. Come to find out, it's everybody's second in command. All of them second commands are there. He goes, these are your second commands, so y'all either, if y'all want protection, go. Once again, very true to the movie. If you've seen the movie, this is just live action version of that. If you've seen the movie, it's live action version of that. So what ends up happening here is he goes, boom, if y'all want protection, I need 40% of everything I do. And keep doing y'all illegal things, keep selling drugs, keep doing whatever you're doing. I need 40% from all y'all. That's what they do. Boom. We swing over. Now we see what Hawk and Dove is doing at this time. Now I do want to mention that in my notes I do have Hawk name going back and forth between Hawk and Hank. Dove through this whole thing will be Dove, even though her name is Dawn. So through the whole thing, when I mention the two characters, you will hear me saying Hawk and Hank, and sometimes you will hear me say Dove, because the majority of the time they never really said their name. They said Hank's name. So just want to make sure we're aware of that. Alright, so we switch over to Hank, and now he's working for the DC Police as a bike patrol. I don't know what that is, but he was on a bike. Now, by the conversation that he's having with his partner, it looks like he roughly has been doing this for about 2 months now. Dove is still doing the vigilante, because she's still using her costume. At this time, if you did not see the last season, they break up to go separate ways. But it looks like at this time that they're at least on a talking friendship relationship base. It looks like I'll just say Dawn. It looks like Dawn is going on dates because Hank asked her, "Hey, are you going on a date with such and such?" She goes, "No, it's this person." Okay, so we go back, we switch over. Dick tells Barbara about what happened last night, how Bruce is trying to, and then Barbara brings up how Bruce is trying to bring Dick back into the fold of Gotham. Dick tells Barbara that the Titans are coming to Gotham City to help. They come. They make a big thing in the news about the Titans are now in Gotham City. Come to find out that Dove is still part of the team. I was not aware of that because in episode 1, she's not in like the lineup that they have at the beginning. So okay, my apologies. Okay, so Bruce is for sure gone. So a lot of people, what Dick thinks is crime will be going up in that area, and once again, kind of like if you've seen the movie Dark Knight Rises, where basically Batman's not there, so crime is really, really high. Now, so we swing over, and when I mean swing, we're basically going to another scene. Some mystery lady puts on a red hood, drops a bag, and it explodes. Same lady that asked to speak with Nightwing earlier, not Dick, Nightwing. Nightwing starts to interrogate her. She's like freaking out, saying that if she didn't do this, they were going to kill her child. She had a phone number written on her wrist, and Nightwing, like Dick, is reading the phone number, and so the people behind the glass are like putting the phone number in. They put the phone number in, and they call the number. When they call the number, the veins in her arm are like going up, and she starts like having an episode. And then I guess it was like a chemical or some drugs in her system, and she's like, please, like, it's hurting me, please stop. And she ends up snapping her neck. She's like, I want the pain to go away. Snaps her neck. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, also as well, if you've never seen this show is rated mature. So they drop F-bombs. They say it's mature content. It's sexual, mature content. So if you are a kid, you should not be watching this. But I like this. I like the show a lot. It's season 3. It's real good. Let's continue. So Barbara mentioned that the Gotham PD been getting help for the criminally insane by Scarecrow, Dr. Crane. Once again, in my notes, I do have him as Crane, sometimes Scarecrow. So if I do say Crane, I mean Scarecrow. If I say Scarecrow, I mean Crane. That Barbara mentions multiple times, hey Dick, you're not going to like this, but yeah, we've been getting help from the Scarecrow. Boom, we switch over. The scene now shows that we have Starfire going through Dick's old room. Starfire has another blackout showing the exact same thing we see in episode 1 of like flashing lights and some type of dude in a hazmat suit. Once again, we do not know who this is or what's going on. Starfire is sleepwalking through the mansion, because when Garth and Connor try to talk to her, she's talking her native language and just dismiss them. Eventually they go into the kitchen where Garth's like, hey, what you doing? She throws a fireball, and then Connor just freeze breath that, and then boom, she ends up calling Vegas dude again. They discuss her blackouts. He's still trying to get in those panties, and basically that's gonna be like a subplot of the show. It's just her talking out with him. I believe he's a therapist. Okay, so we switch back over. Dick goes see Crane at Arkham, which is like the prison that they put all of Batman's vigilant villains at. So that's basically anybody who Batman catches that's on that level goes to Arkham. Once again, if you don't know that, do your research. If you are a Batman fan, you know that, obviously. If you play any of the games, every game is called Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight, Arkham. So that's the prison that is used in Gotham. So he goes there. Seems like, and I thought this was real cool. So what the police station does is, for Crane helping them out, they give him like the best weed in Gotham. And so when he went there, Dick gave him some weed, and he was like, "Oh, you got papers?" Bro starts rolling up while talking to Dick about, hey, what's going on here. I thought that was a funny scene. I thought that was cool. My bad. So at this time as well, Crane knows that Dick is Nightwing, because he was like, bro, put 2 and 2 together. Obviously, you're Nightwing. So let's continue. Crane suggests that the Mastermind has a jealousy complex with Dick. Now, at this time, it hasn't been told or suggested that Jason is the Mastermind Red Hood. But anybody knows it's Jason. It's Jason. But let's continue. So, Hawk randomly pops up, and then Hawk randomly pops up at the mansion, and to Dove's disappointment, and like, bro, what you doing here? They have a quick little argument, and they end with saying, "Hey, I miss you. If I'm gonna Hawk and Dove with you." I thought that was sweet. Let's continue. All right, so when they were going through, there's a couple scenes where they're doing about chess, and one of the chess moves have the word Robin in it. They finally find some clues, and then the clues lead to a bank. They switch over to a hostage situation at the bank. Dick tells Barbara, "Hey, let us go in by ourselves and let us handle the robbers." They go, "All right, man, I'm gonna do this for you because you my boy." So she let him go in. And so at this time, the synopsis is Red Hood is taking people's children and forcing their parents to do bad things. So that's what they think is going on here. So Dove, Starfire, Hawk, and Nightwing all go into the bank and take care of themselves. And at times, like, where's Garth and Connor? Garth and Connor are in the parking lot finding kids. So they go in there and say, "Hey, don't do anything. We found your kids. We found your kids." So they find the kids, and then Connor scans over, and he looks into a van, and he sees, wait, these are the parents here. So come to find out that this was a whole trap by Red Hood to just fake them out. So what ends up happening was he ends up taking 25 million. I think it's 25 million. Yeah, they end up taking $25 million, but Dick thinks like, nah, it's not. It wasn't the money. He was simply just trying to bust a plan with us. This once again builds tension between Dick and Barbara, because Barbara's like, "Bro, I don't need you here. Leave. Let us do this thing. Batman's gone. Let us do here. We don't need y'all." So we go back. Dick and Hawk are talking about what just happened and what's going on. What we have here is once again Garth and Starfire playing chess. I guess this is a way to help problem solve. Garth finds out about another clue to the Mastermind. Now, at this time, the reason I put Mastermind in my notes is because we don't know if it is Jason at this time. So I do put Mastermind there. They go to one of the defensive moves is Hobbs something. I didn't look it up. My apologies. And they find like a Hobbs powder building that's now abandoned. They go to the abandoned building. They find out at the abandoned building it's the guys that were taken, that were actually in the bank. They take them out. Boom. We have a little bit of showdown between Nightwing and Red Hood. They fight, and the episode simply just ends with Nightwing seeing that the Mastermind and Red Hood is Jason, and then the episode ends. So that is the little breakdown of episode 2. Now, at this time, now once again, we're going to go into episode 3. We're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to episode 3. At this time, my mind is, how is Jason doing this? Because the reason I bring this up is because in the first 2 seasons that we meet Jason, nothing about him seems like this. He's not the smartest Robin. When it comes to all the things that he's doing and the intelligence part, Jason, even in the comics, wasn't the smartest Robin. He learned things from being with Bruce and learned over time, but the way that they have him set up in the show, you never thought he could do this on his own. So at this time, in my mind, just looking at it, I don't think he is the main protagonist. I don't think he's the main antagonist. I don't think he's the main villain. I think he's a pawn in what's going on. Just because I don't think he can be doing this by himself from what we've seen from previous episodes. So let's take a quick break and then let's go to episode 3. Welcome back, and now we are discussing episode 3. This is the Hawk and Dove episode, and this is the last episode that has been uploaded to HBO Max. So, this episode begins with Dick digging up Jason Gray to see that there's empty coffin. Now, one of the things that I'm guessing they're doing in this is a lot of the things that were happening in the Under the Red Hood film and comic is what they're doing is they're replacing the elements of Bruce with Dick. So a lot of things that Bruce did in the comics, in the film, Dick is going to be taking up that. Now, one of the plots and one of the things that they say that Bruce says, like, hey, I need you to be a better Batman. So what they're basically doing is giving us the notion that maybe Dick is going to take over as Batman, which maybe not. I don't think so. There is a time in the comics where Dick is Batman, where where everybody think Bruce is dead, so he does take over Batman, and Damian is his Robin. But let's not get into that. Don't want to get too nerdy. Don't want to go off the handle. Let's keep going. So now the team discusses what happens at the end of episode 2, and like, that was Jason. I know that was Jason. This was Jason. Once again, Hawk is now like, okay, bro's killing people, so when I see him, it's on sight. If I see him, I'm gonna kill him, because once you get to that level of killing other people, that's where we're at. So Hawk and Dove have a conversation about, okay, so hey, either down, we're all on 10. We don't need to go there. And Hawk's like, nah, man. If it gets to that, then it gets to that. So, my apologies. Hawk gets a call from Jason. I didn't think at the time that maybe was like he's taking messing up with them, but I kind of thought he was messing around. So Jason's like, man, I don't know what's going wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. Please come help me, but come by yourself, because I don't trust Dick. So, what do you think's about to happen? Hawk goes to this one place, and then he goes to the one place. Jason tells him, okay, hey, destroy that phone. I don't want nobody following you. Dick could be following you. He's like, alright, there's a burner phone in a bag on a bench. He picks it up, looks like, hey, come meet me at this abandoned Gotham gym. I'm there. Okay, so he goes there. He picks up another phone, and Jason tells him, hey, strip down. So at this time, obviously, we got to show the sex appeal. So the actor who plays Hawk, I think his name is Alan Richman. I could be wrong. I do apologize. Dude's very, very, very good shape. Obviously, they're about to show him off. So Jason makes him strip all the way down, bucket naked. You see his ass, his abs. You see the whole pack. Well, you don't see his dangling, but you see the whole package. Boom, we gotta show a little sex appeal. Let's get it going. So then he makes him swim, and then when he gets out the pool, he goes, I'm not playing no more games with you. Then Jason puts him in a chokehold, bow, knocks him out. So we wake up and we go to the next scene, where the next scene now is Hawk is now back at the manor, Bruce's place, and dude got a bomb on his chest. Now, they detect the bomb, and the bomb is motion censored. And also, you come to find out that the bomb is Wayne Tech in a prototype. So basically, the bomb is set up to heartbeats, and so once his heartbeat gets down to a certain amount, he just dies. But the way it explodes, the bomb. So the way that they have it set up is, I think it has it at like 17,000 heartbeats, which accumulates to about 4 hours. And so what they have is like Connor ends up finding out that this is a tech. So Dick is like, all right, Connor, you need to find out how to defuse this. You got 3 hours. I'm out. I'm gonna find Jason. So they get a call from Jason. Jason's like, hey, if you bring me a gold bar that's worth $20 million, I'll get that out of Hawk's chest. Dick's like, all right, bro, we already know what you're trying to do. Nah, we ain't doing that. So we continue, and then at the same time that they're trying to, I even put in my notes here. So I believe that Jason isn't the real antagonist of the season, but a pawn to the main one because he ain't smart. Bro has never been smart the entire series. So I know he can't be doing this by himself. I just don't believe he's doing it by himself. So when they're trying to assist with Garth and Connor are now trying to figure out a way to defuse it, and he's going through all these different mechanisms with his hands to get to 100% success rate. So he's like getting like the 81 to get to 64, blah blah. So obviously they're not going to have him find the percentage at that time. It's going to be later on in the episode. So we have Starfire goes to the police department and asks Barbara, hey, I need to see what happened the night Jason was taken. So they go through the files. She has like a small little blackout episode, not like the first 2 we saw, just a small one. And then they see that somebody took him, but they don't know who. All right. Now then we have a scene between Hank and Dove, and they talk. And at this time, I wrote in my notes something I'll get to. But Hank and Dove are talking and being lovey-dovey, and like why? And Hank's basically accepting things like, okay, I'm about to die. And then Dove's like, why would you want that? Like, you gotta stay here with me. So they was about to bang. She get on top. She about to get. And at this time, I'm thinking like, okay, so nobody's thinking about his heart rate. And the first, like, she's almost naked. Like, her top's off, the bra's almost off, and then she finally looks down and touches him and like, oh, we can't do this. I don't want you to die. And then we move on. So we go back to okay, I already explained that. So we go back, and it looks like they're not giving up on Hank and not giving up to Jason's demands. And then we see a scene where once again Garth and Connor are failing at getting the attempts, and then we cut to a scene where Dove goes to the bank, beats up a couple guards, and it looks like what she's doing now is she's going to go forward and with Jason's demands to save Hawk, because obviously she loves him and doesn't want to see him die. Now at this time we go back to Hank trying to calm down his heart rate while I remember the good times with Dove, and then he has a quick little conversation with Garth about why are you here, like what made you come here, and then they just discuss about destiny, and basically Hank comes to like, I don't want to die, I got things I want to do. Now once again I want to come back to this because I believe what Hank is going through, and you can look this up, and this is a very simple thing. This is called the 5 steps of death. Now the 5 steps of death, they're in this order of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I think we see a little bit of that, and I think we see at the end that, you know, he's accepting, hey, I'm gonna die. This is gonna happen. This is my life. So we go on. We cut to a scene where they find out that he's in the gym, and there's a scene prior where Jason has some dude tied up, but we don't know who that dude is. So we see Jason. We just see Jason talking to him, scaring this dude, and then the next 2 scenes after what I just discussed, Dick pulls up, and then a body drops down on Dick's car. Kind of find out it's that guy, and then you kind of find out that the dude was just there because the dude was tied up because he came into the building. He saw Jason, so Jason just killed this guy for no reason, just because. Yeah, just because. Then Dick calls Hank. They have a conversation, and at this time, Hank has about like 400 beats left, and then while he's trying to meet up with Jason, and then because in the beginning of the episode, not beginning of the episode, but Dick says I can't talk to him. I can't talk to him if I know he's going to die. So Hank tells him, hey man, you're doing the best you can do. Keep doing you. You're doing a good job. Keep doing you, man. So, and then he's like, okay, man. Then Hank just hangs the phone up on Dick. All right. So then you come to it, and then Dove gives Jason the gold. And he's like, all right, man, give me the detonator. And he goes, the detonator's in there. She has a little box, it's a gun. And he's like, oops, nope, I have it here. I have a detonator here. And so Jason tells Dove, you have to kill me to save Hank. And then she's about to pull the trigger, and then Dick comes in, stops her. Now, the segment we have here in the little sequence of events is roughly about 25 beats left on the device. Connor's getting close to making the device. His success rate has went from like 95 to 97 to 98 to 99. It has to be 100. It can't be nothing less. So Jason is pressuring Dub. Shoot him. You better shoot me. You better shoot me. You better shoot me if you want to save Hank. Connor gets the device to 100% success. Now, while he's rushing to Hank, he has 5 beats left, but Connor is Superboy, so that's nothing. So, in the meantime, while that is happening, while he's rushing over to Hank, Dove pulls the trigger. She pulls the trigger, but it doesn't shoot him. Come to find out that, plot twist, Dove had the detonator the entire time. So, in reality, her pulling the trigger trying to kill Jason actually ends up killing Hank. So when she pulls the trigger, the 5 beats go to 0. You see a segment where he explodes. Well, you don't see him exploding, but you see the explosion in the room that he was in, while Connor's like maybe 2 seconds left from saving homeboy. Then basically Jason gets away, and then we're left at the end of the episode with just everybody having to deal with what just happened here. And then that's how episode 3 ends. So I forgot how many episodes this actual season is. I think it's like 10 or 13. Let me check. Oh man, I totally forgot. So there's a part in episode 1 after I should have put this in episode 1 because this is in episode 1. There's a part in episode 1 where a bunch of kids are popping up on Bruce's database in the Batcave, and the first image you see is Carrie Kelly. Now, Carrie Kelly is this individual right here. She's technically, and this is what I mean by the Dark Knight Returns comic, she technically comes right after when Jason dies. Now, because she's theoretically the 4th one, because technically Tim Drake is the third Robin, but a lot of people have her as the 3rd one, unannounced, and you see her name, and that's it. They just see her name. And when I saw like Carrie Kelly, I was like, isn't that Robin? Isn't that the female Robin? And it is. So her name pops up in episode 1. Now, overall, for the first 3 episodes of season 3, I think they're going to write in a good direction. We still haven't seen Blackfire. Now, at the end of the final episode of season 2, we are told that Blackfire is going to be the villain for season 3. She hasn't showed up yet, and to kind of have it show as of right now, we're kind of like, if you don't know anything, you literally just watch the show, you kind of see it as Jason is the main villain, and that's what they're going to deal with. I don't think so. I think he's a pawn to something bigger. I think she probably shows up and she's the big baddie at the end. But once again, we are just getting started with. This is just episode 3, and I believe, let me check. How many episodes is Titans season 3? 13. Okay. So it's 13 episodes in this one. So we have 10 more episodes left. So, and every episode is roughly about 45 to 50 minutes. So we have still a lot of good time for this, and I'm really enjoying this so far. So once again, this one's going to be a little bit longer. I do apologize because I was not aware that they were dropping all 3 episodes tonight. So for next week, it's only going to be obviously just episode 4. So for here on out, just going to be episode 4, and so on and so on, and finale. And then at the end, we'll have a total discussion of what I thought of the season. So at this time, let's get into the food review, which we will be looking at. And if you're already looking at the thumbnail and the description and title of this video, you know what that is, which will be the Marshmallow Fruity Pebbles. I do apologize for having to do this on my phone. The video died, the camcorder died while I was going to film this, but we're going to do this here. So what we do have here is the Marshmallow Fruity Pebbles cereal. So I think Steph already got into this. Yeah. So what we have here is basically the Fruity Pebbles concept, and then we have the marshmallows here. Okay. Alright, let me get my bowl. Yeah. Not too much. Not too much. Not too much. There we go. Can't forget our Miak. Let me get a little bit of that. Should be good. Ooh, I hear that crackle? Okay. Yeah, one. Nice. And so, I don't know. Yeah, see the marshmallows? I mean, basically take Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms marshmallows, and you got the same thing. Yeah, you got the same thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, 8.5. All right.